Good morning, dear students. I am Amit Patel, Assistant Professor, SMC College of Dairy Science, Anand Agriculture University, Anand. Today we are here to discuss role of milk and milk products in our diet. This is part of paper number 7, that is Technology of Milk and Milk Products. Dear students, we know that milk is a complete food. It comprises fat, protein, lactose, which is a carbohydrate present in milk, vitamins and minerals, and certain growth promoting factors. We know that fat, carbohydrate and protein provides us energy, whereas vitamins and minerals are required to maintain a good physiological health conditions. These constituents of milk not only provide nutrition, but they also help in prevention of certain diseases. So, during a course of discussion, we will at large see role of fat in our diet. Fat, not only fat, but it also is a good source of fat soluble vitamins, certain essential fatty acids such as oleic acid, linoleic acid, arachidonic acid. We will discuss role of all these constituents in our diet. Then we will discuss regarding protein. Milk protein can be divided into two. One is casein and another is whey protein. Then we will discuss role of lactose, which is a unique milk sugar, that is carbohydrate, and its physiological conditions such as lactose intolerance. Then we will go to certain vitamins. We will discuss both types of vitamins present in milk, that is fat soluble vitamins and water soluble vitamins. And at the last we will discuss role of minerals. Milk is a very good source of minerals such as calcium, phosphorus, although it is not a good source of iron, but remaining minerals are very much important in our diet. So, we will discuss role of minerals also at the end of this discussion. Milk and other dairy foods were recognized as important foods as early as 4000 BC, evidenced by rock drawings from the Sahara depicting dairying. The nutrients present in milk and milk products are present in the form of carbohydrates, proteins, enzymes, minerals, vitamins, etc., which provide these nutrients in an easy and palatable manner. They not only provide a nutritious diet, but also give energy and meet the day-to-day nutritional needs. Students, now let us discuss role of constituents of milk and milk products in our diet. Milk and milk products in the form of food not only meet the nutritional requirements, but also supplement the following requirements. Like they promote growth, they supply energy to the consumer, it is helpful in maintenance of the body, it also helps from recovery from the disease, it also is important for reproduction, and it provides taste and appetite and palatably to the user. Nutrient components of milk and milk products. Although fluid whole milk is a liquid food which comprises 87% of the water, it also contains an average of 13% total solids, which includes 9% solids not fat, an amount comparable to the solids content of many other foods available. More than 100 different components have been identified in milk, which are important nutritional contribution of milk and milk products such as calcium, protein, potassium, vitamin A, vitamin B12, riboflavin, niacin and phosphorus. In this slide, we can see that milk has around 87.4% water and remaining constituents are known as milk solids, that are approximately 12.6%. Now amongst mixed milk solids, there are two divisions, one is fat and remaining constituents are classified under milk solids not fat. Now milk solids not fat can be further divided into three major portions like proteins, lactose which is a carbohydrate present in milk, and minerals. Now proteins can be classified into two major groups, one is casein which is around 80% of the total protein present in milk, whereas whey proteins are around 20% of the total proteins present in milk. Components of milk. We can see in this slide that milk has around 87% of water and remaining constituents are known as total solids in milk. Now these total solids can be divided into two major categories. One is fat and rest of the constituents are classified under SNF, that is known as solids not fat. Now solids not fat content can be further divided into protein, lactose and minerals. Proteins present in milk are further classified into two major categories, that is casein which comprises around 80% of the total milk protein and whey proteins which comprise around 20% of the total milk proteins. Now lactose is a milk sugar which is around 54% of the total solids content, and the last is mineral which is known as content in milk which is around 0.7% of the milk. Now let us discuss the importance of milk and milk products in our diet, starting with energy. The energy content of milk and other dairy products vary widely and depends mostly on the fat content, since fat gives around 9 kilocalorie per gram of the fat, but also on the addition of non-fat milk solids, sweeteners and other energy yielding components will also impart energy in our diet. Let us start with importance of fat from milk and milk products in our diet. Milk fat contributes unique characteristic to the appearance, texture, flavor and stability of dairy foods and is a source of energy. Essential fatty acids such as oleic acid, linoleic acid, linolenic acid, then fat soluble vitamins such as vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E and vitamin K, and several other potential health promoting components. The rich and pleasant flavor of milk fat cannot be duplicated. The milk fat flavor is unique in itself. Milk fat in the form of butter, ghee, ice cream, coffee and whipping cream has its own flavor, taste and nutritive value. Nutritive value of milk fat is due to its high calorie value of 9 kilocalories per gram of fat. Milk fat exists in microscopic globules in an oil in water type of emulsion. Milk fat is made up of mainly triglycerides which are around 97 to 98% of the total lipids, and remaining 2 to 3% constitutes phospholipids, cholesterol, cholesterol esters, diacyl glycerols, monoacyl glycerols, free fatty acids and fat soluble vitamins such as A, D, E and K. Fatty acid and fatty acid derivatives with 4 to 26 carbon atoms are present in milk fat. Milk fat contains relatively high proportion of short chain and medium chain saturated fatty acids which are having carbon starting from 4 to 12 in number. These fatty acids are present as saturated fatty acids, monosaturated fatty acids and polyunsaturated fatty acids. The saturated fatty acids such as palmitic acid, stearic acid and myristic acid generally contribute to an increase in blood cholesterol levels, whereas long chain saturated fatty acids such as lauric, myristic and palmitic acids raise blood cholesterol levels, whereas stearic acid and short chain saturated fatty acids such as butyric acid, caproic acid, caprylic acid and capric acids have either a neutral effect or may lower blood cholesterol levels. Findings from cell culture and experimental animal studies indicate that butyric acid may protect against some cancers. In variety of cancer cell lines such as cell lines of colon cancer, leukemia, prostate cancer, breast cancer, butyric acid inhibits the proliferation and induces differentiation and programmed cell death. So, this type of fatty acids can prevent occurrence of cancer in human body. Oleic acid is the main monounsaturated fatty acid in milk fat. Polyunsaturated fatty acids such as arachidonic acid are present in trace amounts in milk and milk products. Linoleic and linolenic acid are not synthesized in the human body or are synthesized at such a slow rate that they must be supplied by their diet, and milk products are the very good sources of linoleic acid and linolenic acid. Trans fatty acids are naturally present in very small amounts in milk and dairy foods as a result of biohydrogenation in ruminants. The predominant trans fatty acids in milk fat, that is trans K 11 18 carbon chain and 1 unsaturated bond, which is also known as vacinic acid, is converted to conjugated linoleic acid, popularly known as CLA, and specifically we can call it as cis 9 trans 11 CLA. It is also known as rumenic acid. Findings from experimental animal, cell culture and limited human studies demonstrate that CLA may help in reduction of risk of several types of cancer, example colorectal cancer, breast cancer, lung cancer, prostate cancer and ovarian cancer. It is also helpful in prevention of heart diseases and diabetes. It also enhances bone formation and immune function. So, this way CLA is very good for our health and it is available from milk and milk products. Cholesterol is present in milk in relatively small concentration, that is less than 0.5% of milk fat. Usually cholesterol is considered as nuisance, but dear students, it is not the case. Cholesterol is very much essential in the body as it is precursor of many important substances such as adrenocortical hormones, vitamin D, bile salts and certain sex hormones. Milk and other dairy foods contributed about 16% of the cholesterol available in food supply. So, there are many other foods which are source of cholesterol along with milk and milk products in our diet. In vitro and experimental animal studies indicate that dietary sphingolipids may have a protective role in some cancers and possibly cardiovascular diseases. So, this way fat is very important not only in providing calorie to the human, but the other constituents of milk fat are also important in prevention of certain diseases or maybe they are helpful to prevent or cure those diseases such as conjugated linoleic acid, sphingolipids and likewise. Now, coming to the milk proteins, which is also a very important constituent in terms of diet. Milk is recognized as an excellent source of high quality protein. Whole milk contains about 3.5% total protein by weight, which accounts for about 38% of the total solids not fat content of milk and contributes about 21% of the energy of whole milk. Milk also contains small amount of various enzymes and traces of non-protein nitrogenous materials. Milk contains proteins in the form of casein and whey proteins. Of the total protein in milk, about 80% is casein, whereas 20% is whey protein. The casein can be further fractionated into four major components like alpha casein, beta casein, gamma casein and kappa casein. Whey protein, which is more heterogeneous than casein, consists predominantly of beta lactoglobulin and alpha lactalbumin. Alpha lactalbumin has a high content of the amino acid tryptophan, which is a precursor of niacin, and whey proteins present in smaller amounts are serum albumin, immunoglobulins. Now, immunoglobulins can be of three types like immunoglobulin A, immunoglobulin G and immunoglobulin M. These are protective agents which enhances our immunity system. Other whey proteins in smaller amount present in milk are protease peptone, lactoferrin and transferrin. Each of these proteins has unique characteristics and biological functions in our body. Milk protein is considered to be high quality or a complete protein because it contains in varying amounts all the 9 of essential amino acids. Now, students, essential amino acids are those amino acids which cannot be synthesized in our human body. So, we have to be dependent on other sources such as milk and other food products. So, milk is a important constituent in our diet since it provides all the 9 essential amino acids which are not synthesized in our body. These essential amino acids are tryptophan, phenylalanine, lysine, threonine, valine, methionine, leucine, arginine and histidine. Benefits of bovine milk derived peptides and amino acids in glycemic control and weight management, food intake regulation, muscle metabolism, hypertension and reduction of dental caries have been proved through various research studies, and hence milk protein is very important in human diet. Dairy foods are also rich source of branch chain amino acids, especially branch chain leucine, which has role in recovery of muscle protein synthesis during food restriction, that is during dieting or after endurance exercises. That is why athletes and bodybuilders use whey protein powders, which are again a very good source of branch chain amino acid, that is leucine. Milk proteins are a rich source of peptides that inhibit the vasoconstrictor angiotensin 1 converting enzyme and significantly lower systolic and diastolic blood pressures. So, milk protein has again a role in control of blood pressures in our body. On the negative side, milk proteins have allergic property. Certain human beings are allergic to milk protein. A limited number of infants and young children exhibit allergic responses to bovine milk protein, primarily beta lactoglobulin, casein, alpha lactalbumin and bovine serum albumins. The people who are suffering from this type of milk protein allergenicity may have to be dependent on certain other options like soya milk. Now, let us discuss role of carbohydrate, that is lactose in milk, in our diet and its importance in our nutrition. Lactose is the principal carbohydrate present in milk. It is synthesized in the mammary gland of the animals or bovine. Lactose accounts for approximately 54% of the total solids not fat content of milk and contributes about 30% of the energy of whole milk. Carbohydrates provide energy at the rate of 4 kilocalories per gram. Lactose favors the intestinal absorption of calcium and perhaps phosphorus in infants. Now, this calcium and phosphorus is very important for bone health of infants. So, lactose has indirect role in absorption of calcium and phosphorus at the early age of infants. Lactose helps in absorption of calcium by its chelating action. This action of lactose is through the absorption of calcium as calcium lactate. So, when milk is taken as a food, lactose and calcium will form a salt, that is calcium lactate, and which is absorbed by human body. In addition, some of the lactose enters in the distal bowel, that is colon, where it promotes the growth of certain beneficial lactic acid producing bacteria that may help combat gastrointestinal disturbances resulting from undesirable putrefactive bacteria. So, lactose has again a role in management of our bowel health in terms of desirable bacteria. The mechanism behind this is intake of lactose through milk takes a longer time for ingestion than the common carbohydrates, that is cane sugar or sucrose. The increased ingestion time in the stomach favors the growth of desirable bacteria, namely lactobacillus species, preventing undesirable organism damaging putrefactive in the gastrointestinal tract. Minor quantities of glucose, galactose and oligosaccharides are also present in milk. Glucose and galactose, which are monosaccharides, are the products of lactose hydrolysis by the enzyme known as lactase, or it is also known as beta galactosidase. Researchers speculate that galactose may have a unique role in the rapidly developing infant brain. Some individuals have difficulty digesting lactose because of reduced lactase levels, a condition called lactase non-persistence or lactose intolerance. But the good news is that nowadays in market, lactose free options are available, like lactose free milk is available, and lactose free milk can be used for manufacture of other dairy products which will be ultimately again lactose free. During the ingestion of lactose in small intestine, it is broken down to glucose and galactose. Lactose is a disaccharide. In the presence of beta galactosidase enzyme in small intestine, it is broken down into monosaccharides like glucose and galactose. The enzyme may be destroyed during illness or genetic disorders, and this may result in non-breakdown of lactose to the monosaccharide units, that is glucose and galactose. This intolerance can be overcome by either avoiding taking milk or consuming hydrolytic milk products such as dahi, yogurt, lassi, etc. In case of fermented products like dahi, yogurt and lassi, bacteria will use lactose as their food, and this lactose is broken down into simpler monosaccharide units, that is glucose and galactose. Nevertheless, these products are lactose free. They can be consumed since lactose intolerant people can tolerate small amounts of lactose. If the amount exceeds certain level, then there will be problems like stomach upset, diarrhea, etc. Now, coming to the most important thing in our diet, that is vitamins. Almost all of the vitamins known to be essential to human have been detected at some levels in milk. So, it is a very good option to have different types of vitamin through intake of milk and milk products. Milk and its products contain both water soluble as well as fat soluble vitamins. Vitamins A, D, E and K are associated with the fat content of milk since they are fat soluble vitamins. Vitamin A plays important role in vision, gene expression, cellular differentiation, embryonic development, growth reproduction and immunocompetence. Both vitamin A and its precursor called carotenoids, principally beta carotene, are present in variable amounts in milk fat. Cow milk is a very good source of beta carotene. The yellow color of cow milk is due to beta carotene, which is a precursor of vitamin A. Vitamin D, a fat soluble vitamin that enhances the intestinal absorption of calcium and phosphorus, is essential for the maintenance of a healthy skeleton throughout our life. A deficiency of this vitamin results in inadequate mineralization of bone, that is calcium and phosphorus is not able to deposit on the bones and thus leads to development of rickets in children and osteomalacia in adults. In addition, vitamin D deficiency lead to secondary hyperparathyroidism, which enhances mobilization of calcium from the skeleton, which ultimately results into osteoporosis. Another fat soluble vitamin is vitamin E, which is also known as tocopherol. It is an antioxidant protecting cell membranes and lipoproteins from oxidative damage by free radicals. This vitamin also helps to maintain cell membrane integrity and stimulate the immune response. Some studies also support a protective role for vitamin E in cardiovascular disease and possibly some cancers. The last fat soluble vitamin is vitamin K, which is necessary for blood clotting. It is found in low concentration in milk and milk products. In addition to the essential fat soluble vitamins, milk and other dairy foods are also important source of water soluble vitamins, again in varying amounts required by humans. Significant amount of thiamine, which is vitamin B1, which act as coenzyme for many reactions in carbohydrate metabolism, are found in milk. Milk is also an excellent source of riboflavin, which is known as vitamin B2. This vitamin functions as precursor for certain essential coenzymes important in the oxidation of glucose, fatty acids, amino acids and purines. Niacin, which is also known as nicotinamide, functions as part of coenzyme in fat synthesis, tissue respiration and utilization of carbohydrates. This vitamin promotes healthy skin, nerves and digestive tract as well as aiding in digestion and fostering a normal appetite. Milk is a good source of pantothenic acid, a component of the coenzyme A involved in fatty acid metabolism. Vitamin B6, which is also known as pyridoxine, functions as coenzyme for more than 100 enzymes involved in protein metabolism. Folic acid is a growth factor and functions as a coenzyme in the transfer of one carbon unit in the de novo synthesis of nucleotides, which are necessary for DNA synthesis in our body. Vitamin B12, which is also known as cyanocobalamin, is necessary for growth, maintenance of nerve tissues and normal blood formation. Ascorbic acid, which is vitamin C, forms cementing substances such as collagen in the body. It is important in wound healing and increasing resistance to infections. This vitamin also enhances the absorption of non-heme iron and may protect against some cancers and cardiovascular diseases. Milk contains an insignificant amount of vitamin C, and this vitamin C, being heat sensitive, is lost partially during processing of milk. So, milk and milk products have vitamin C, but the concentration of vitamin C in milk and milk product is non-significant. Now coming to the minerals part. Minerals present in milk and milk product is also known as S content present in milk and milk products. Milk and other dairy foods are important source of major minerals, particularly calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, potassium and trace elements such as zinc. The mineral content of milk is influenced by several factors such as stage of lactation, environmental influences and genetics. For these reasons, there may be a wide variation in the content of specific minerals in milk. Milk and other dairy products are an excellent source of readily bioavailable calcium. About 99% of the body's calcium is found in bone and teeth, with the remaining 1% in body fluids, nerves, heart and muscles. Throughout life, calcium is continuously being removed from the bones and replaced with new calcium from our diet. Consequently, the need for an adequate supply of dietary calcium is very important throughout our life, not only during the years of skeletal development. In addition to calcium's beneficial role in bone health, this mineral fulfills several other important physiological functions in human metabolism, as evidenced by its role in blood coagulation, myocardial function, muscle contractibility, and integrity of intercellular cement substances and various membranes. Milk is also an important source of phosphorus. This essential mineral plays a central role in metabolism and is a component of lipids, proteins and carbohydrates. Another important mineral present in milk is magnesium. It is required as cofactor for over 300 enzyme systems in the body. If magnesium is not present, these enzymes cannot work as per their role, since magnesium acts as cofactor. It is related to calcium and phosphorus in function. This mineral activates many of body's enzymes, participates in the synthesis of protein from amino acids and play a role in the metabolism of carbohydrates and fat. Potassium contributes to the transmission of nerve impulses and helps to control skeletal muscle contractions. Accumulating scientific evidence support a beneficial role of potassium in blood pressure control or prevention of hypertension is also known to us. Milk and other dairy foods contain many trace elements or nutrients needed by the body at levels of only a few milligrams per day. Of the more than 100 known trace elements, dietary recommendations have been established for relatively few trace elements. Example, those considered to be nutritional importance such as iron, zinc, selenium, iodine, fluoride, boron, chromium, copper, manganese, molybdenum, nickel and vanadium. Iron is found in very low concentration of milk. Zinc is a constituent of nearly 100 enzymes involved in most major metabolic pathways such as the synthesis of ribonucleic acid, deoxyribonucleic acid and proteins. This trace element is essential for growth and development, wound healing, immunity and other physiological processes. Dear students, at the end we will conclude step by step, that is role of milk and milk products in our diet. Milk, not only milk, but milk products are also a good source of concentrated nutrients present in milk. We have discussed role of fat in providing energy, that is 9 kilocalorie per gram of fat, and apart from energy, milk fat is very important in our diet in terms of essential fatty acids, fat soluble vitamins such as vitamin A, D, E and K, and certain nutrients present in fat, lipids, that is sphingomyelin, phospholipids, etc. Next, we discussed role of milk proteins in our diet. We have also discussed allergenicity provided by certain milk proteins like beta lactoglobulin. Then we have discussed role of lactose, that is carbohydrate present in milk. It also provides energy, and the physiological conditions which is suffered by certain human beings, that is lactose intolerance, which is caused by absence of enzyme, that is beta galactosidase. Then we have discussed role of vitamins, both fat soluble as well as water soluble, and at the end we have discussed role of minerals in our body, specifically calcium and phosphorus. Thank you.